All right, let's do this. I've heard the community has gone up in arms. I was kind of chilling off of social media for the last couple days, so I'm out of the loop. So let's get into it, shall we? What based opinion can we have today? This week at Bungie, 7/28/22. This week at Bungie, we're planning a raid date night. Aw. Happy solstice, everyone. Bonfire's lit. We'll be going over the launch date of the next raid, and then also talking over the matchmaking changes rolling out in season 18 and season 19. Let's get into it. Matchmaking. Coming up in season 18 will be our second go at bringing a raid out of the Destiny content vault. And this time it's going to be redacted, Pog. Sorry, we're saving the reveal of which raid is coming to Destiny 2 for our Destiny 2 showcase on August 23rd. Sell out. But we want to make sure you have time to make any arrangements necessary to be ready on day one. So request off work, hire a babysitter. I can't hire a babysitter for my chat. I've tried. But don't skip school, please. Your education is important. Redacted raid goes live 10 a.m. on August 26th. Oh, so that's going to be the month of us grinding out our schedule, so we'll be ready. Because this will be a raid that many of you are already somewhat familiar with, we'll be changing up the world's first race a bit, similar how we did Vault of Glass. Here's what to expect. Raid will launch contest mode enabled 24 hours. You'll need to be at 1560 power to be at cap for all the encounters. Clearing the raid's contest mode. Active is the first step to access the new challenge mode. Bleeding Secret Triumph. Special triumph for completing blah, 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 blah. Where's the PvP stuff, bro? I want to rage. Completing the secret triumph, a curated list of challenges in this newly unlocked challenge mode will be how a fire team crosses the world's first oh, what? The bits. Interesting. The bits. If you actually read fast, I can't read when the bot's saying stuff. To enforce the triumph requirements challenge mode, your team will wipe if you fail access. Okay. Challenge mode and a secret triumph will only be available the first 24 hours, so make haste if completing this is on your bucket list. First team to do so will be declared world first winners. Pending a review, if anything checks out, final 16. Rewarded coveted raid belts and mod mids. Their teammate. Pog, good luck. Making match. Oh my god. Alright. It's time. It's time for the PvP player in me to get either really mad or really happy. I've heard the term skill-based matchmaking. Some like literally Cosmic texted me. It was like, yo, TWAB, skill-based matchmaking. So I'm gonna find out. Starting in season 18, we'll be introducing some changes in how we play Matchmaker in the Crucible. This will be the first iteration that is part of a larger plan going through season 19. Our world systems teams are leading the charge on this transition and are here with a big info dump on what to expect. Let's talk about skill and connection. Oh boy! Let's do it! We know this has been discussed with a lot of passion and goodwill in many places in the community and inside Bungie. Inside Bungie? So we're going to give you a clear TLDR before we get deeper into the how and why. We're striving towards a goal that all players, including new lights, can enter the Crucible and regularly get matches where they can feel competitive and have a reasonable chance of winning / competing. So what I'm hearing is first impressions. They want a more like balanced experience for everybody. So what they're gonna do, I'm just guessing, they're gonna make a casual / social playlist, and then they're gonna make a ranked playlist. So the ranked playlist will put you with people against your own skill, and then the casual social will just be connection based. You can do whatever you want to do. Don't put the copium in my chat. I know you're gonna put the copium in my chat. So you can have the ranked experience where you play against people of your own skill, and then you can have the casual that's just connection based and have fun with your friends. Is that what I'm hearing? Can't wait to read more. I'm so excited, bro. Let's go. Okay. Winning fair matches using skill-based matchmaking is going to be important to help meet that goal. We're about to lose skill-based matchmaking and control players start season 18. No! The bits.
Joey, for the good of all of us, just keep reading until the end.
Loose skill-based matchmaking has a wider starting skill similarity than survival and should result in matching with a wider variety of players, while also eliminating some of the frustrations we see in our current system. Okay. Alright. Expect loose skill-based matchmaking to expand to other playlists in future seasons as we tune what we consider high-quality match by gathering real data and feedback from you. We're not planning to add it to every Crucible playlist. Nice, I like that. We'll continue tuning it in a good place. Okay. We'll report tuning updates regularly. Asterisks. On regular. We'll be implementing a form of fire team size preferred matchmaking in season 19. Oh, okay. I'm actually for that. I like that idea. A lot of what follows is pretty in-depth, but feel free to skip the tuning section below if you're interested in details and want a high-level view of what you'll be experiencing. Goals of creating high-quality matches. We developed some goals we'll be working on the next few seasons. All players, including new lads, can enter the Crucible and regularly get matched where they can feel competitive. All players, whether solo or fire team, can find a place in the Crucible where they can play a variety of matches and have a reasonable chance of winning / competing. We're defining reasonable as expected win rate of 40 to 60% for most matches. Okay. Players are rewarded based on their skill and proud of their skill. What? How are you gonna... Reserves a place for players who do not want to engage in the skill system. So how is this gonna work? Rewards, is it gonna like reward better rewards for being higher on the end scale? Huh, I don't know. Generally speaking, any matchmaking competitive multiplayer game tries to put higher quality matches. We consider 3 things when we're assembling these kind of matches. Connection quality. 2 types of connections are important: connection to the game server, connection to all players in the match. Generally, bad connections to other players have a larger effect in Crucible than connection to the game server. So when we talk about connection equality, we're talking about that connection from player to player. Lower quality matches result in jerky movement from other players, miss shots, or getting unexpected damage or killed. When fire teams spread across the globe, we pick a single player's latency to speed up finding matches. Match fairness. Ideally, all players in a match have a reasonable chance to win that match, i.e. have similar skill. Matchmaking speed. We always consider matchmaking speed a key element. No one wants to wait 10 minutes between matches, no matter how perfect they end up being. Gets flashbacks to the first season of Comp. Legend competitive help waiting for 14 minutes for a game. Oof. When matchmaking, we must balance these 3 elements. If we want a lower matchmaking speed, we can we are either going to need matches that are less fair or matches with a lower connection quality. We'll continue tuning and find the best balance possible. Skill. Ooh, we got some graphs. Throughout this TWAB, we'll be using the term skill. It's just a skill issue, chat. Nothing personal. It's just a skill issue.
The bits.
Magic Concha. Will Joey go flawless today?
Maybe someday.
No, they asked today.
Go right ahead. If you want to die.
Oh my god. Okay, fine. I guess we're playing Apex today. Throughout the term, we'll be using the term skill in Destiny. That term refers to how we rate all players who participate in PvP on a scale to 2,000. Player skill is reflected in a graph that looks like this. Look at this graph. Cosmic, edit that in there, please. Cumulative percent of observations. What? What does that even mean? Internally, skill is a combination of stats made up of your performance, kills, death, captures, round wins, revives, dunks, etc. That ranks you against all the other players in a match. Each player's skill is compared against the skill of other players in the match. Each player's skill is compared. We make skill adjustments for all players at the end of a match.
Explain this graph to me like I'm 5.
I don't know if I can explain this graph. They're gonna explain it. Don't worry. Let's see. And we make skill adjustments for all players at the end of a match where the two... Oh, snap. Oh, okay, cool. So this is the factors that they're taking in to determine your rank, aka skill, I guess. Okay. We make adjustments for all players at the end of a match where the 2 rankings differ. There's also a confidence rating. Oh, my confidence rating is gonna be off the charts, bro. The more games the system has seen you in recently, the more confident the skill adjustment is. In addition to the stats mentioned above, skill encompasses all sorts of things. Your reaction times, agility, how you approach fights, how well you know the map/mode, how well you know your character. I don't know my Titan very well. How you build your character, the weapons, armor, and mods you use, and how you blend all those into the performance with other players. Wow. You won't ever actually see a skill value in-game, and while we are currently only using it to get fair matches in survival and elimination, we will track it in all modes, including Gambit. Gambit. It's a skill issue. This gives us a reasonable starting point from the new games like Rift or Zone Control. This doesn't weird me out or stress me out as much as I thought it would. Like, I just want there to be a ranked/competitive mode for this to be implemented in, and that you can play for cool rewards. I'm fine with them learning how, like, figuring out their way to do it. Now, how do these skill numbers actually play out in game? Here's a good shorthand we used early. If someone is 200 skill above you, you can definitely tell they're better than you, and they will win 75% of engagements against you, unless you put on Lawrence Driver. The opposite is true if someone is 200 or more below you. By the time you get a difference of 400, the better players are going to win 90% of engagements, and lower skill players need to get extremely lucky to pull off a win, or just equip Jotun. Once you get to a difference of 600, there's basically zero chance a lower skill player to ever win a 1v1 conflict. Can I be ranked 420? I just want to be ranked 420. Engagement should be fair the closer you get to the same skill. That is our goal. The problem space. As we start looking at the competitive landscape of Destiny, we noted two things. Outside of survival and elimination, the ability to influence whether your team wins or loses is usually out of your personal control if you are of average skill or below. Exclamation, or parentheses, half the population, exclamation point. This can feel bad. Accurate. I would argue with team balancing, it doesn't even matter if you're freaking ZK Mushroom. You won't be able to win a control match by yourself. This can feel bad, and the match outcome...
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
What are you doing?
No! No!
Pause! This can feel bad, and the match outcome feels essentially random, and you don't feel motivated to try to win. This has contributed to us de-emphasizing winning as a requirement to gain rewards in the Crucible. Wow, bro! Everybody gets participation trophies nowadays. Back in my day, bro? Back in my day, you had to earn your trophies, alright? The current landscape also allows brand new players to match up with some of the highest skill veterans and are expected to compete. On the flip side, if you are highly skilled, you are often put on a team where it feels like you are carrying them and must constantly perform if you want to stand a chance at winning. This doesn't feel good for anyone. It's like whenever I play with Cosmic. In Control, the skill disparities on a team can be stark. Over 50% of matches have a skill disparity of 900 or more between best and worst player, which is so significant that the outcome is already known before a single shot is fired. Shots fired. On the other hand, in freelance survival, 60% of matches have a 250 skill difference or less. That is much more reasonable. These wide variances in skill also lead to more mercy games than you would expect. For example, Control. Percent of player matches. So is this... Oh, okay. So almost 20% go to time. 60% go to objective met, but what causes this dip? Other problematic elements. With wide disparities in skill, trapping in a single team and spawn is significantly easier. With wide disparities in skill, it's more likely that most of the team is dead at the same time, freeing the other side to roam around and look for new targets up to danger. Okay, because of these extreme factors, no matter what your skill, it becomes hard to tell if you're improving or not. Was that a great play, or are they just a worse player than me? You may quite reasonably look for other stats to demonstrate how good you are. Kills, assists, and deaths, KDA, are great, but it's still unclear how good your opponents are. Given that matchmaking is dependent on lots of factors, a KDA in a low population situation can mean a very different thing skill-wise than a KDA in normal or high population scenario. You can also check third-party sites who track ELO. ELO? We're back to ELO farming, baby! Ranking system originally designed for chess with broad impact. ELO isn't something we track to use or validate, so it's a use at your own risk data point. Let's go farm some ELO, bro. Take me back to those days. If you can't tell you're improving... ELO, other... I forgot we had that command. Every loser's obsession. Do you remember? Oh my god, it all just came flooding back. Remember when I was the #1 player in Trials? Back on Eternity, which is this week's map? Oh, dude. Oh, I remember I would farm that. I would put that in my title for days, bro. Hashtag #1 Trials player. Trials carries. Oh my god. Oh, nostalgia. Okay. If you can't tell you're improving, it's hard. Cosmic, can you put that? I want a little picture. Can you just put it right for here for a sec? If you can't tell you're improving, it's hard to be motivated to try and improve. We know we have to do something to solve these problems and more to get Crucible into a better place. I know we won't be able to address everything in one fell swoop in Season 18, but this will be the start of an ongoing progress process to improve PvP over time. Match balancing. Once we match a group of players into a lobby, assuming we don't have any full fire teams, we try to split them into balanced teams. If the player skills are somewhat random, the system has a tough time. We've tried several different algorithms here to mix results. From the time being, we are hoping that reducing the skill variety or variability in any given lobby makes it. At the start of season 18, we're going to start turning match fairness back up in control and only control in the Crucible. We want to start slowly to limit the number of playlists we consider when tuning matchmaking with hundreds of thousands of people. We can do some testings, but nothing can fully simulate how the full population will be affected by these changes before we ship. We're going to be live tuning the matchmaking parameters over the first few weeks until we land on something that provides a better balance between fairness, quality, and speed. What about violence and momentum?
Violence. Speed. And a whole lot of momentum.
We will not be touching any other Crucible playlists during Season 18. Trials has no planned changes to its matchmaking, elimination, and glory. We'll still use the same skill-based matchmaking they have been using, and everything else will still use the connection-based matchmaking they have been using for years. We are currently planning to make further adjustments to Season 19 based around the goals listed above, but rest assured, any major changes will be communicated in either TWAB or blog posts, as well as patch notes. All right. So far, I'm not freaking out about it. Like, the Destiny community overreacting to things. What? Connection-based matchmaking. Connection-based matchmaking is what most of the Crucible playlists utilize to find matches that have the best possible connection quality. First, we identify a pool of players, available players with a good connection to you. Check. Within that pool, we choose players with the very best connections. Check. If we can't find players within that pool, we widen the variance and connection. Check. We repeat until we find enough players, then we break them out into equally skilled teams. Boo. Key point about matchmaking in a fire team. The latency we measure to find a good match does not take into account a fire team with disparate connection speeds. Did I pronounce that right?
Disparate.
We only measure latency for one of the players in a fire team. So if you are in Tokyo and you're in a fire team with someone in New York and someone else in Johannesburg, you are in for some laggy Crucible matches no matter what lobby you join. Skill-based matchmaking, better known as SBMM. Skill-based matchmaking uses a similar model to connection-based matchmaking. In addition to similar model to connection-based matchmaking. In addition to latency, SBMM uses skill similarity. Never mind. When asking it to join a lobby, like latency, the acceptable skill similarities expand over time. First, we identify a pool of players with a good connection to you. Within that pool, we choose players closely matched to your personal skill rating. If we can't find players in that pool, we widen the variance of skill. If that doesn't work, we expand the search again. More variance and connection quality. Once they have enough players established, we break them into equally skilled teams. Current glory matchmaking settings prioritizes connection quality and matchmaking speeds while still trying to find a fair match. The goal statement for our standard skill-based matchmaking is we would rather sacrifice some match fairness in order to maintain connection quality and matchmaking speed. I didn't know that. That was great. I need to read more TWABs, bro. I appreciate learning about this stuff. Loose skill-based matchmaking. Our initial version of loose SBMM for the control playlist is going to work a little differently. It starts with a wider acceptance skill variance and then expands very slowly on both acceptable skill and connection quality at the same time. The goal statement for this new loose skill-based matchmaking is start with a broad definition of match fairness and compromise on matchmaking speed. Okay. So match fairness might take longer to find a match in order to keep match fairness and connection quality high. We expect overall matchmaking times to go up, more so if you and your fire team are on either end of the skill curve. Oh boy. Depending on the current population in your region. However, we are hoping the trade-off for matches that aren't super sweaty or lopsided blowouts will be worth it. Okay. We have analytics set up to review overall matchmaking data each hour, especially critical over the opening few weeks of the season, and we'll be monitoring and adjusting timings and thresholds above while we try to home in on good settings. Control is generally a nice high population playlist, so it'll be a good test bed for tuning like this. What are we going to be looking to while we tune? Amongst other things, we're looking at matchmaking time. Players who cannot find a match in 10 minutes with a goal to keep the average under 2 minutes and under 4 for 95 of players. Oh, minimize players who cannot find a match in 10 minutes. Mercy games, right now, mercy rates vary based on the map, as low as 5% and as high as 25%. Dang, I didn't realize they were that different. We believe the number of mercy games should be under 5% on all maps, but not actually hit 0. Final score. In general, games should be closer in score. Right now, 65% of matches end with one team hitting the score limit, 15 go to time, 15 go to mercy. Our goal is that 80% of matches end one team reaching the score target, and most of the rest ending with a time limit. We are looking for the most matches to have under a 10 point difference between the two teams. That is so close together. Out of control, which is what, 150? Less variance between the top player and bottom player. Right now, 5 to 10% of matches have the best player scoring 30 to 39 more kills than the worst player in the match, and 50% of matches have the best player getting 20 to 29 more kills. We believe that 90% of matches should have less than a 20 kill difference between the best and the worst player, and 50% should have no more than a 10 kill difference. Wow, that's wild. It's what's also weird about this is if when you implement a skill-based matchmaking into not like a competitive ranked playlist, there's no incentive. Like I can wet my absolute off, but there's not really an incentive to, like, so they're gonna take my stats that I do from trials and like other games, and they're gonna be like, look, this player is really good, they should perform this well. And then if I'm like freaking running triple snipers or doing something fun, like I'll be punished for that when I want to just relax and chill and not have to sweat. And I'm fine to sweat, just like put me in a ranked game mode where I can like earn rewards and blah blah blah. I just don't want to have to. And I guess that can be like a condescending, pretentious outlook. It's like, man,
I don't want to have to try so hard all the time.
but it's like, I don't know, that's just my feedback. Take it as you will. I'm not saying I don't want to have to try hard. It's just like, if the game expects me to perform this way and I'm not trying my absolute hardest to reach that point, I think that's silly, or that's what I'm saying. Okay. All of this is great, but there are some things it does not address that we'll be looking into in future. Skill distribution. As we discussed in the skill section, player skill in Destiny and most games tend to follow a bell curve centered around skill 100. That means half the players are clustered between -100 and 300 skill, and just 1% above 800 or lower than -550. When you do skill-based matchmaking with skill windows, what ends up happening is players at either end of the bell curve have fewer potential players to match against, and thus potentially take longer to find a match with a really good connection. This is one of the reasons we will start adding a wider skill threshold and expand more slowly. I love expanding slowly, to make sure we go through all available players. Like we've said, we expect this to cause longer matchmaking times initially, but it's important to note that we're going to be looking at outlier skill thresholds and tuning the experience for them. That's good. In a future season, we are hoping to introduce some technology that allows us to search with a wider skill variance based on your position in the skill curve and keep matchmaking times more consistent, with the downside of loosening some match fairness. Fire team size mismatches. Oh my god, we're almost done. Let's go. It's no mystery that full fire teams often stomp 6 solo players who matched against them. Fire teams that are used to playing together may also be in voice chat with each other, true, allowing them to communicate more effectively than those who are not, true. Oddly enough, if we look at the average skill for solo players, it fits the bell curve from above clearly. If we look at the average skill for full times in Crucible, we can see the bell curve centers around 400 to 500. Wow, they say only 1% is above 800. So typically, if you match a 6 stack, it's going to be kind of sweaty. So, not only do the fire teams have a communication advantage, but they also have a decisive skill advantage. The big question is, are high skill players more inclined to play in fire teams, or do regular fire teams make your skill go up? Either way, we will be implementing a form of fire team size preferred matchmaking in Season 19. We will be sharing details about how it works closer to release. Our goal is for it to be utilized like skill, sometimes as a strict requirement, sometimes as a loose one, or sometimes not used at all. Just like my stream schedules. Further, it will allow us to eventually replicate the benefits of playing in a freelance playlist without having to split up population. That's oh, beautiful. I like that. I like that a lot. That sounded very sarcastic, but I meant that genuinely. I haven't read this much since I was forced to read The Hobbit in school. Imagine reading, bro. I didn't become a streamer to read. Track the amount of teabagging too. No, they need to track. They need to track a skill meter, a metric for determining skill. Should be how many times that player has gone into a streamer's chat and said, "GG, just played you. Sorry for the bags. I was nervous."
Could you start from the beginning? I forgot what you read.
No. Primed and ready. What's better than free rewards? Prime! Amazon Prime! Chat, did you know that if you have Amazon Prime, you can link your Twitch account and have one free sub month to any one of your favorite streamers? Exclamation point Prime in the chat and learn more. It does not auto renew. You can have a token available right now and not even know it. You also get in-game rewards with Destiny! Exclamation point Prime.